Okay, so synthetic division. There is a video here that'll show you how to do it, but I'm also going to give you a live demo right now. So in our textbook, example number 28 in the practice exercises, I'm going to just show you how to use synthetic division. So the way synthetic division works is you're going to take your dividend and your divisor and find a quotient. So if you remember from when you first learned division, the dividend is what's under the division bar, your divisor is what's getting divided in, and your result is your quotient. And you might have a remainder. Okay. So the dividend in this case is our quadratic, so this is our dividend. And this is our divisor. Now in synthetic division, your divisor has to be linear. So your divisor must be linear to use synthetic division. And in this case, our divisor is linear because it's just x plus 5. So what you do is you look for the coefficients of every term in your dividend. So my coefficients are 2, 7, and then we have the constant negative 15. When you're going to use synthetic division, you need to account for every degree of the variable. So this one is x squared, then x, and then there isn't an x. So we have every degree accounted for. If this said 2x cubed plus 7x minus 15, then the squared term would have been missing. And we would have to account for that, and I'll show you in the next example. But for this one, what you do for synthetic is you write down all the coefficients. So 2, 7, negative 15, and you keep the sign. So if it's positive, you keep it positive. If it's negative, you keep it negative. And then you're going to write down the opposite sign of your factor. So your divisor is x plus 5, so you're going to really just write down your root. You're going to put it in a little box to the side. So if I solved for x, it'd be x plus 5 equals 0. So x equals negative 5. Negative 5 was what goes there. Right. So then what you do is you leave like a row of space, and you draw like an equals bar. So in synthetic division, you always take the first term and write it underneath. So you always write 2. If your leading coefficient was 1, you'd write 1. If your leading coefficient was 3, you'd write 3. If it was negative 2, you'd write negative 2. So in this case, the first coefficient was 2, and I just keep that. So then what you do is you take what you got, multiply it by negative 5, and you write your product here. Okay, so we're going to take whatever we got, so we take the bottom times our root, and we put our product here. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Then you add. So you add this column here, and you write your sum or difference right there. So 7 minus 10 is negative 3. And then you do that all over again. So now whatever I had times my root, so negative 3 times negative 5 is 15. And then I add negative 15 plus 15 is 0. Always what happens is this is your remainder. Yeah, Sophia?
Where did you get the negative 10?
2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So what this means is my remainder is 0. So if I'm doing division and I divide and get a remainder of 0, that means that this is a factor. Okay, so x plus 5 is a factor of 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. And because we did division with a linear term, we can make our quotient 1 degree less than what we started with. So we started with a second degree polynomial, so this is going to be a linear quotient. So you take the coefficients and you just rewrite it. So this is 2x, so instead of x squared, now it's 2x, minus 3. So that would be our quotient. what is 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 divided by x plus 5? It's 2x minus 3. This also tells me that if I factored 2x squared plus 7x minus 15, I would get x plus 5 and 2x minus 3. Okay? Yes?
So like, what is the divisor? Like, wouldn't it just be, like, the first part is your quotient and the second part is your dividend? I don't know, I just don't.
This is my, this is being divided by that. So whatever you're dividing by is your divisor. So I say, this divided by that equals this. Yep.
So is that our answer?
This would be our factored form. This is our answer though.
Okay. So do we rewrite it in factored form?
In this particular question, you only had to find the quotient.
Okay.
But if we were solving polynomials or rewriting something in factored form, which is like the next step, then we would do that. So just read the directions. Any other questions on that one? Okay, I'm going to show you what to do if we're missing a term. Okay, so in this particular case, what is our dividend? X to the fourth minus 16? And what's our divisor?
X minus 2.
X minus 2. So this one is x minus 2, the other one was x plus 5. So the sign matters. If I had x minus 2 and I was finding my root, I would say x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. So when you're doing synthetic division, you're always going to write your root down. Synthetic division works, you find the leading coefficient for every term, and you have to account for every degree. So this is x to the fourth, I'm missing x to the third, I'm missing x squared, I'm missing a linear x, but I have a 16, so I'm missing 3 things, so if I, 3 coefficients. So if I want to use synthetic division, I have to account for all of them and fill in a 0, bless you. So my coefficient of x to the fourth is 1, and then I'm missing x to the third, I'm missing x squared, I'm missing x, and then I have negative 16. So I'm writing all my coefficients, but if I'm missing an x term, as I count down the degrees, so I go 4th degree, 3rd degree, 2nd degree, 1st degree, if they're missing, I fill that spot in with a 0 in order to use synthetic division. And then my root goes over here, so this time it would be 2, because it's x minus 2, so I put the opposite sign of 2 there. And then I put my equal sign. First step in synthetic division always, you just bring that first number right on down. Next step, you're going to multiply what you got times the root. So 1 times 2, you write the product here, so that's 2. And then you add. 0 plus 2 is 2. Then I do it again. What I got here, 2, multiplied by 2, I get 4. And then I add, and I get 4. Multiply again, 4 times 2 is 8, and I add, 0 plus 8 is 8. Then I multiply, 8 times 2 is 16, and then I add, and I get 0. That tells me I have no remainder. So I could rewrite this, and I'm always going to be down 1 degree. So I was at a 4th degree, this time I'm going to be at 3rd degree. So it would be 1x to the 3rd plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8. That would be my quotient. There's no remainder. So x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8 is my quotient. Now, if, let's say when I did this, I got 1, 2, 4, 8, 3 as the last number, in a different example, this just tells me my remainder is 3. So in this example, my remainder was 0, so I didn't have a remainder. If I had a remainder, you could either do R3, or you could rewrite it as 1x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x plus 8. And then you would do plus 3 over your divisor. So that's two ways of writing it if you had a remainder. That's how you write it. So that's synthetic division in a nutshell.